Okay, as we evolve and move forward in our design process, we're going to come across problems. And falling back on our principles, problems are solutions, and observation is how we can determine what the problems are and also come up with the solutions. So keeping those two principles in mind, we're going to get into an additional design process as we're going. Initially set up this terrace bed right here and planted it with Austrian peas, some sunflower, some sorghum, some other things, right? Some of it's coming up, some of it's not. The peas started to come pretty good, and now they're just kind of stunted, dwarfed, yellow, and that could be for several reasons. One of those reasons could be that the soil that I've got in here doesn't quite have the nutrition and have the things that the peas need. Also, it's the wrong time of year to be planting them, right? They're cooler weather, you know, lower sun type crop. However, we need to get those legumes in there and get the nitrogen build up and get it going. So a couple of solutions to solve this problem is to build shade, right? To build something or come up with the design where it's going to shade out these lower level plants that are in here, like these snow peas, to keep them away from that direct sunlight, that UV sun, right? It starts about 10:30, 11 o'clock as it comes over these trees, the sun path does. Then it continues on until about 7 o'clock when it hits these trees over here. And so that's a good amount of time, 7, 8 hours plus of direct sunlight on this bed. Too much sun, right? We need light. That's important for plant growth, but that direct overbearing UV light will burn up these smaller, more delicate plants. And so we need to take our observations from the natural world here, follow around here, and we look at this forest system that's behind us. We've got really tall trees, right? And that's providing long branches and a canopy at a high level to block out that direct sunlight. Are the lower level plants still getting light? Yeah, obviously, because we can see through the shadows and see the light. It's also interspersed, right? So that there's areas where that light comes up, like right here, there's got some direct light, and down over there, that light gets filtered through the branches and the leaves. And so we need to create something similar here. And there's a couple of options that I've come up with. One is to build a structure that comes up and over, blocking out that sunlight, shading it, or not blocking it out, but shading, giving it some shade, some cover, like the upper canopy, and allow these smaller plants, to come up. I've also replanted with a whole bunch of sunflower and daikon radish to get the nitrogen going. That chop and drop with the daikon radishes, dig up, build in the soil, attract bugs, eat the roots on that, as well as the sunflowers to give it that upper canopy. But until those pop up and grow where we need them to be, we need something. And so in a minute here, we're going to go inside and we're going to look at a prospect or proposed design that I have using some materials on hand. The other problem that we've ran into is that they're just not getting enough water. And part of that is I have the sprinkler on a timer. It doesn't cover the entire area. It covers the majority of it. It goes off at night. It goes off in the morning when it's cooler out and there's not as much direct sunlight. But this being in direct sunlight is also causing mass evaporation to happen. So shading that out is going to keep water on this bed, keep moisture in the soil, and provide those avenues for these plants to really take off and get the moisture that they need, as well as, start adding in our amendments and, our nutrient teas, our compost teas to help kickstart the soil a little bit more as some of this other stuff gets ready to go. That being said, let's go in the classroom and let's take a look at what we got on the whiteboard, draw it out, and maybe come up with some additional solutions there.